Hey everyone, Final here. Today, I'll be testing out the base set for Vallejo's True Metallic Metal. I'm only covering the base set in this video. I'll do the shades and light paints in a follow-up video. I'll be painting up a bunch of Space Marine helmets, all primed with lead belcher. Also, once again, apologies for sounding hoarse. It's taking quite a bit to recover my voice. First up, I have Sterling Silver. I'll only thin it a little bit. It has a very similar consistency to Citadel's Ironbreaker. Right off the bat, you can see it has pretty good coverage. Very little of the lead belcher is poking through. I also really like the color. It stands out from the lead belcher a lot better than Ironbreaker does. Maybe I'll use it for my future Grey Knights. The coverage on a flat surface isn't great, but it's nothing that a second coat won't fix. After painting up the whole helmet, I really like this color. It's like a base paint version of Stormhost Silver. I'll definitely be keeping this one for future use. Next up, I have Radiant Yellow. I also did very minimal thinning for this one, and you can tell right away it has horrific coverage. Maybe a few more coats will fix it up. No, it just looks terrible. I'm going to strip the paint off of this one and use a different base color. Alright, take two. I primed it with Grey Seer and then based it with Averland Sunset. The coverage is definitely a lot better. It probably will still need a couple more coats. It's not too bad on a flat surface. And here we are after 3 thin coats. It probably would have been better with Flash Gets Yellow or a lighter base, but it's still not too bad. I'm not sure if I'll be reaching for this one in the future. I guess we'll see if I paint a Lamenter or Imperial Fist. Alright, now I have Imperial Gold. I won't be thinning this one at all. It reminds me of a watered down Retributor armor. Alright, let's see. Oh boy, coverage on this one isn't great either. It's definitely going to need at least one more coat. You know what? That actually turned out really nice. This is after only 2 coats. It's not as bright as Retributor armor, but it's a lot shinier if that makes sense. The coverage on the first coat wasn't great, but after the second one, it looks really nice. I'll definitely be using this one again in the future. Okay, now we have Ancient Copper. I won't be thinning this one down. It feels similar to Brass Scorpion. Okay, the coverage isn't too bad. You can still see the lead belcher, but not too much of it. Coverage on a flat surface isn't too bad either. Yeah, definitely one more coat. Wow, this one's really bold. It's a nice color, definitely more copper than Brass Scorpion. It's almost borderline orange. This would be good for something like orange trim on a Space Marine. I do still have a captain to paint up. This one's definitely staying with me as well. Now we have Forge Red. It feels pretty thin already. I'll use it as is. Okay, very similar coverage to the last one. Maybe a hair worse. It is a lot thinner. Decent coverage on a flat surface. So after 2 thin coats, this one's not too bad either. A really nice, bright and shiny red. I was worried about the coverage here, but after the second coat, it was pretty good. Maybe I could base coat some Blood Angels with this color. I do really like this one. Thumbs up on this one as well. Alright, now we have another red. This time Ruby Red. This one's actually decently thick, similar to Iron Warrior's paint. I'll add a little bit of water to this one. Oh wow, really nice coverage. A little bit of lead belcher sticking through, but nothing a second coat won't fix. Good coverage on flat areas as well. So here it is after 2 thin coats. I might have watered down the first coat a bit too much, but even so, after 2 coats, it looks great. Really nice coverage overall, and a really strong red color. I wonder if I could do like a metallic Space Marine Sergeant helmet, or something like that. Either way, I'm really happy with this color. Crimson Magenta is the next one up. This one is about as thick as lead belcher base paint. I'll just be using this one as is. Pretty decent coverage, really similar to the Ruby Red actually. Or maybe a little bit thinner. Yeah, it's not too bad. Although it will need a second coat. And once again, after 2 thin coats, it actually might benefit from a third one. There's a little bit of lead belcher still poking through on the edges. Overall, not bad. Maybe I could use it for the Emperor's Children, the 40k version. It's a nice pink color, and it falls under a list of paints that I want to use, but don't know what to use them on. At least now I know if I ever need a pink metallic, I have one ready. Now I have Amethyst Purple. This one feels really thin. I'm actually a little worried about that. It's similar to the Radiant Yellow. Well, one way to find out. Oh wow, this one has amazing coverage. Even on a flat surface. It needs a second coat, but barely. After 2 coats of that, that's a really nice paint. I really like the color, but I really love the shine on it. The color is really solid after 2 coats, even on the flat part. I think this one's my new favorite out of this set. It's a great paint. Now I just need to find a model to use it on. Now for the last of the purple paints, I have Celestial Violet. It's not too thick, probably similar to Lead Belcher. I'll thin it down a little bit. Ooh, this one might have the best coverage so far, at least for the purple ones. Yeah, that's really nice. If I was using a better brush, I could probably get away with 1 coat. Even on the flat areas, it's really nice. I did a second coat anyways, just to make sure everything was covered. Look at that, that's a really nice color. I could use it for some pre-heresy Emperor's Children, or anything purple really. It's not as bright as the last one, so it won't overpower any other colors. The coverage was really amazing, even on the flat areas. Definitely a great paint overall. On to the blues. Now I have Ultramarine Blue. It has about the same thickness as the last one, something like Lead Belcher. So I'll thin it down a little bit. And wow, I think we have another winner. Look at that coverage. Same as the Celestial Violet, I could probably get away with 1 coat. I'll do 2 anyways, just to make sure I hit everything. It's a really nice color, and really good coverage. I don't have a clip for it, but it basically covered the flat area in 1 pass. It could be a really good base color for Ultramarines, or any other dark blue faction. Maybe I'll paint up a metallic Horus Heresy Ultramarine. The ideas are flowing for this one already. It's a really great paint. Next up, I have Sapphire Blue. It's another one that's about as thick as Lead Belcher, so I'll thin it down a tiny bit. Oh, that's a really nice color. The coverage is great too. I definitely could get away with 1 coat. Even on the flat areas, the coverage is really nice. I did 2 thin coats anyway. Look at that color though. It's a really striking blue. The coverage is great, and it was really easy to work with. It might be really good for some Thousand Suns. I'll be keeping this one close as well. Alright, last one for the blues. We have Hydra Turquoise. This one's a little bit thinner than the Sapphire Blue, so I won't thin it down as much. Wow, look at that. I think we have another winner. The coverage is great, even on that flat part. So for this one, I actually did not do a second coat. This is what it looks like after 1 thin coat. Amazing coverage. Everything's nice and covered. I love the color too, and I already know what I would use this color to paint up. If I repaint my Alpha Legion kill team, I'll be going for this color first. Now, onto the greens. I have here Beetle Green. This one's really thin. I'm not thinning this one at all. Let's see how it goes. You know, that's not too bad. I probably should have thinned it a tiny bit and then done a couple of coats. Coverage isn't too bad. I'm going to thin it down and do a second coat. So thinning it down with a little bit of water really did the trick. It flowed a lot nicer, and the coverage was actually a lot better. It's a really nice bright green. I don't really know what I'd use it on. Maybe some metallic Seraphon? Either way, it's a really good paint if you need the color. Next in line for the greens, I have Dusken Green. It's about the same consistency as the last one, so I'll do a little bit of thinning. Right off the bat, I really like it. It's almost like a base paint version of Waystone Green. The coverage is great, and if I had a better brush, I'd probably only need 1 coat. I'll do a second one just to make sure I got everything. That's another winner for me. It has a really good color, and really good coverage. It's almost like a metallic Dark Angels color. It flowed nicely into the recesses and on the flat areas. I'll have to keep this one handy in case I paint Dark Angels. Coming up next is Amber Green. It's another one that's similar to Lead Belcher, so of course, I'll thin it down a little bit. I'm liking it already. It doesn't flow as well as the previous colors, but a second thin coat will definitely fix that up. Realistically, you probably only need 1 thin coat and some touch-ups. Actually, never mind. Some Lead Belcher is poking through on the flat area. 2 thin coats it is. And here we are. It's actually a lot brighter than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more of a mute, dark green color. The coverage is pretty good. You only need 2 thin coats, and depending on how it reacts with the shade and the light paint, I might try and use it for salamanders or something like that. Another great paint. Okay, I guess this one is technically green as well. It's called Greenish Gold. It's actually really thin already, so I won't be adding any water. Okay, coverage isn't too bad. It reminds me of Ironbreaker or even Stormhose Silver. Definitely will need another coat. I'm not sure how I feel about the color though. I guess we'll see what it looks like after it dries. Honestly, that's not what I thought it would look like. The name is Greenish Gold, but it really has more of an aged gold look. I could probably use this on some Custodes, or even some gold Sisters of Silence. The first coat was really thin, but the coverage was a lot better after the second coat. I'm really happy with this one. Now we have another gold called Arcane Gold. This is the one that I thought would look old, but I guess we'll see. It's really thin, so I won't be adding any water. Oh, okay, coverage isn't too bad. You can still see the lead belcher underneath, so it will need a second coat. It's a little too thin for the flat surface, so it might need a third coat there. So I just did 2 coats, but you can kind of tell that it needs a third one. It's not a bad paint, but the coverage is really light. Personally, I'm not sure if I like the color. It's kind of a dull gold. It shines, but it feels like it shouldn't. But hey, if you like this color, it's not a bad paint. Just make sure to do at least 2 thin coats though. Now this one is just called Rusty Metal. It's a really thin paint. It's bringing back memories of Radiant Yellow. You know what? Never mind. Coverage is pretty decent. It's a little runny, so I'll have to move it around a little bit. It's really good on the flat surface. It should look even better after a second coat. And here we are. I'm not really getting rusty vibes. It reminds me of a bronze color. It'd be really cool for a statue or something. I'm really curious how the shade and the light paint interact with it. It could end up looking really cool. If you're looking for this color, it's a good paint to use. Alright, here's another really thin one. It's called Aged Metal. Okay, the coverage is very similar to the Rusty Metal. A little runny, and it'll need a second coat. Even on the flat area, just the tiniest bit of lead belcher is poking through. So actually, the coverage turned out great on this one. After the second coat, everything is nice and covered, there's no splotchiness anywhere. I like it. The only thing I'm not sure about is the color. I really have no idea what to use it on. Maybe for some Space Marine relics. I guess we'll see. Now we're down to the very last one, Obsidian Black. It's a decently thick paint, probably similar to Iron Warriors. I'll be thinning this one down. Ooh, I think I actually need to thin it down some more. It's going on really nicely now. Great coverage. Even on the flat surface. I'll be doing a second thin coat anyways, but I'm really not sure if I need to. And that's that. Oh, I really like this paint. It's a really nice color. It's a little similar to Iron Warriors, but it feels sharper. This one definitely skyrocketed to the top of my favorite list. There's so many things I can use it on. The color is great, the coverage is great. They really saved the best for last. And that's it. All 20 base paints from Vallejo's True Metallic Metal. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm doing this one separately from the shades and light paints, just in case anyone wants to use Nuln Oil or Agrax Earthshade or any other shade that they already have. If you're interested, I will be doing a follow-up video with the shade and light paint sets together. These paints should be out publicly now, so check out your local game store. They might have them in stock. If you weren't sure about any of these colors, I hope this video helped you out. And again, apologies for the hoarseness. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.